Hey, and welcome to my channel. Welcome to our first Mediterranean check-in. We'll see how it's gone. Change doesn't always happen just like that. But the first thing I want to do before we get into all this business is I want to say hey to my friend Cassie in Michigan who watches with her mama Marilyn. Cassie, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful Christmas, and I appreciate you watching so very much. And your mama's pretty cool too, if you didn't know that already. So now, we know I was told last Tuesday to start the Mediterranean diet by one of my doctors. I finished out the week I had on my menu plan. I didn't change anything. I just went ahead and finished out, my low carb menu plan. And then, of course, Friday is my new menu plan and grocery shopping day. Because what do you do on payday? That's when you grocery shop. At least in this house it is. So I bought all the stuff, did my menu plan, had everything, ready to go. Well, Friday was just kind of a wash. I don't even. Yeah. I wrote down what I started during the day, and it went down. It just went downhill. I don't know what my issue was Friday. Well, yes, I do. I really do know what my issue was. That there was just some emotional upheaval, and I let it get the best of me. And so I ate my way all the way through the middle of the night. I think I even woke up and ate something. I don't know. But I at least ate all the way until bedtime, which is usually early. So I know I woke up and ate. Because I usually fall asleep by the time he goes to work. But there was just something that went on that, it's fine. There's nothing wrong. It was just something. Y'all know y'all have those somethings. And I let it get the best of me. So then Saturday, I'm like, okay, we're going to start out good. But Saturday, I'm going to make these little English muffin pizzas. Well, as luck would have it, David went out to his mama's, and I was like, it was early on. I'm like, I just don't feel like making these pizzas. Let's go use, we had a little bit of a Cracker Barrel gift card left. And so I said, well, let's just meet the one over in between, like his mama's house and our house. Because the one in our town was terrible. When we used the first part of the card, they were terrible. Used to be so good there, but it was just terrible. So I said, well, we'll travel a little ways. Okay. I say, call me when you get ready. He calls me. Now, if you're not from this area, there's this thing called Concord Mills. It is like one of the biggest malls around. I don't know if you'd call it. It's like an outlet mall, but it's humongous. And that is in our next city, which our two cities are like, we don't know where one starts and one stops. It's just, we're that close. But it built up around there, and so it is so congested on a regular day. But you get close to Christmas, even with COVID, I don't even know what the rules inside the mall is, because I haven't been in years. The last time I went was when Holly took me to see Randy Travis, and I never got in there because it's huge. That's the last time I went in. I'm really wanting to get to where I can walk and just go and see everything, because they got a corn and wear outlet in there. I want to go. I haven't been in there in umpteen years, since way back whenever the mall came, which it has been there a whole lot longer than you think. Anyway, I went the back way. I thought, I'm not going down the interstate, because you get up there where you have to pick where you turn right to go to the mall or turn left to go to like all this other stuff. And it's a 4 or 5 lane exit. I think it's 4. 2 that way and 2 this way. Used to be 1 straight, but they changed the interstate. How you get on that? Now you have to go around the other way. Anyway, you have to sit there through I don't know how many lights, okay? So I go the back way. David comes from his direction. He calls me. He goes, well, are you here yet? I'm like, no, I'm still stuck on this road. I can't even get up to the main boulevard. Snail's pace. And then there was an accident, which didn't block us because they were in the middle, but it was a snail's pace. And I'll tell you why when I get up there in a minute. He's like, well, I don't know how they're seating or what they're doing. He said, because people are sitting out here in their car like they're waiting to go in. I'm like, oh, well, I just ain't feeling all that. I said, we could run down to Red Robin and got us a hamburger, one of them good hamburgers. He goes, well, do you want to do that? I'm like, yeah. Well, we were almost there. It's just in Charlotte, which, like, the outskirts of Charlotte. So we're like, okay, let's go. I'll meet you there. For, I don't know, I exaggerate not, a half hour, 45 minutes, I sat in my car, I don't know how many car lengths away, to get on this one road up to the main boulevard that stretches the whole thing. When I finally got up there, the holdup was, traffic, crazy, bumper to bumper. When the light turned green, all these people going down the boulevard ran it, and so then their light turns red, ours turns green, and the whole intersection is blocked, so we can't go anywhere. So it's like one car at a time could just ease out there and get in. So then I get in what I think is the right lane to get on the interstate, and I'm in the wrong lane, and thank goodness there was a good Samaritan when I put my signal on and kind of, bumped that way, because you just have to kind of get aggressive or you get left behind. They let me in, so I get on the interstate. Well, once I'm on the interstate, it's kind of, but then the other side road, not at Concord Mills, it was, fine when we got down to Red Robin. But anyway, that's how Friday ended up. They have this Whiskey River barbecue burger. Y'all just don't know how good that fattening thing is. Well, I could only eat half. I just could not get the whole thing down. So I brought half of that home and half my fries. And we ate early. We didn't eat supper time. We ate real early. I don't know, 3 o'clock maybe, something like that. So later on that night, I ate the other half for my supper. I guess I call that was a late lunch. And so then I ate the other half for my supper. And so I started the day out good, but then that's how we ended it. So I do know that day ended. I didn't write it down, but I do remember in my tracker, 77 points. Oh, I've told y'all before. Of course, now, I think that still left me with 5 weeklies. So, like my friend Sherry, her name used to be, that's what weeklies are for. So that's how I feel. That's what weeklies are for. If you want to use them, then use them. No, it was not Mediterranean diet, but then usually my Saturdays are not whatever my weekday diet is. So, okay, Friday, Saturday, that's a wash. Sunday, let me get up in my little book here. Saturday, I considered my first full day of Mediterranean, and that let me tell you what I had before we went to Red Robin. So for an early breakfast, when I got up, I had a Greek yogurt bowl. I put some blackberries and some raspberries, some walnuts, and a drizzle of honey, and oh my gosh, it was delicious. It was so good, and without even knowing it, it held me all the way to lunch, and I didn't realize it until we were eating. I'm like, you know what? That bowl held me. But I say lunch. I ate that like, it was early. It was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I had got up, and that's as long as I could wait. I had to eat something. And then I did eat some lunch before we went to Red Robin, but that was a long span in there. So for lunch, I had, that's what, I think that was the day I went to, I took some stuff up to RJ. I had just some, like regular pastas and just different little things like that I took up to RJ because, they cook and eat. They're people like that. And I ran back by Aldi's. Hadn't been in there in months because I don't normally go inside and walk. So I have not been inside Aldi's to know what all the kind of stuff they got. But I said I wasn't going to buy a regular loaf of bread because I don't want to eat sandwiches. But everything I'm reading says eat the whole grain breads. That's part of the whole grains they want you to eat is some good whole grain breads. So I knew Aldi had to have some. Well, I found a pumpkin, some kind of pumpkin seeded whole grain bread. So I got that. And so that's what I had for lunch. I had a piece of that. I toasted it. And I put some whipped cream cheese. And then later on I had some sugar peas. And then we had the Red Robin. And I'm pretty sure that day ended up at... Because the burger, when I looked up in the app, I just can't believe it. They gave that burger 38 points. There's no way under the shining sun, even as fattening and big as it was, that was a 38-point burger. They're just trying to deter you from going out. Didn't work. Of course, it was after the fact. I knew what I was going to get. I didn't look up no points before I went. I knew what I was getting when we went. So Sunday, I don't know my points on Sunday because when I was working on my meal prep and I was doing my recipes, you have to switch your plan to get all the points. You can't just say, what are the points on purple and what are the points on blue, etc. You have to actually switch your plan over to see how many points that recipe is. So when we give y'all all 3 colors, that's what we have to do. We just have to switch and switch and switch. I wish Weight Watchers would give you an option because you might want to know some of your favorite, let's say some of your favorite recipes, what the points would be if you wanted to go whichever color, and you wanted to kind of test out your recipes first to kind of help you pick a color. It'd be easy if you could just click on it and say, okay, here's blue, here's green, here's purple. But they're not going to listen to me. But I'm sure there's a lot of other people that wish they would do that. So I don't know my points for that because it's stuck in green. I even this morning uninstalled the app, reinstalled the app. When I put it on my computer, that's where I do my recipes on my desktop. I switched it to green. Even though I switched it back before I got through, it stuck that day only, Sunday, that day only, in green. So I'm not even going to try to figure out what the points would be because I've tried and tried and tried and it will not go back. But at 3 o'clock in the morning, I'll tell you this, I had some boiled peanuts. They was my boiled peanuts. That was somewhere else I went Saturday. I went to the Farm Fresh, and this time of year when they got their peanuts out, they just got just a big old thing of peanuts, and you just scoop them up in your bag. Well, I got enough to boil some and to parch some, so I did both. I boiled them in the Instant Pot. I will try to put up top the link. I did a video on how you boil them in the Instant Pot. If you boil them on the stove, you just have to boil them practically all day long. You just have to boil the snot out if you want to get them right. But whoo, they turned out so good. I got just the right amount of salt, just the right amount of tenderness to them. Oh, they was good. They far better than them canned ones you get, which I will do. I'll eat the canned ones in a minute. But the thing about boiled peanuts is on the Mediterranean diet, so I didn't feel guilty at all. Did not have a bit of guilt eating my peanuts. Then for breakfast, I had a big breakfast. I had 2 pieces of those pumpkin breads, but I used instead of the whipped cream cheese, I needed to get some avocado in. This is where I've got to try to figure out how to get all these good healthy fats in and all this and that. So I used one of those little avocado cups, the little mashed avocado, and I put that on my bread instead of cream cheese. And it wasn't bad at all. It really wasn't bad. It didn't taste like what you would think it would taste like. But that pumpkin bread is real strong. It's kind of real clovey or nutmeggy. So it's really stronger than I would prefer. But I had that, 2 boiled eggs and some watermelon. And then for a snack, I had one of those pumpkin pistachio energy balls. Oh my gosh. When I first tasted it, before it set up, I said, oh, it's too much cinnamon. I think it's too much cinnamon. Once it sets up and gets cold, that kind of comes down a little bit. You can still take it down. It can still stand to go down a little bit. But oh my gosh, those things are, they are so good. They're dangerous. It says you can freeze them, and I think I need to pop the rest of those in the freezer because they're very easy to walk by and grab one if you want to. Just, Then lunch, I just had my, because that was prep day. I just had that one extra cup of the quinoa chili, which let me thank, oh gosh, I done forgot who it was. I'm sorry. Forgive me. In the comments, she told me, because, I talked about how hot that chili was, take that chili powder down. She said peanut butter will take the heat out. Oh, what a genius. I took that natural peanut butter I got, that Crazy Richards, got me a spoonful of that, heated the chili up, and then the peanut butter was already, it's runny anyway, and then stirred that in there, and I went in and got me some Greek yogurt because I like that kind of stuff on my chili. Didn't burn me at all. This cup lit me up. Lit me up, and my mouth was on fire for a long time. Peanut butter did the trick. If you make something that's too hot, I'm telling you right now, and I couldn't taste the peanut butter. It wasn't like it tasted like chili and peanut butter. I couldn't taste it at all. Give it a try. So thank you so much for that tip. I said that saves me a week full of misery because I have 3 more bowls. This is Tuesday. 3 more bowls of that was going to light me up. Anyway, that was yesterday. Well, this was Sunday, but yesterday is when I put the stuff in there. Then snack, guess what I had? Some more boiled peanuts and an apple. And supper, we went ahead and had those beef country ribs. If you have rarely your red meat, it needs to be lean. But I'm not going to throw away meat that I have in the freezer. And we already had these beef country ribs. And they're pretty much just cut up chuck roast. That's all. That's why they're so good, because they're marbled and delicious. So those are really high in points. And then a baked potato and some asparagus that I roasted in the oven and put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on. It was really good. We liked it. We're just still shocked that we have found out we like asparagus. David still can't get over it. Okay, then yesterday I finally got correct point count. Now this is what I'm doing now. Another subscriber who now I can't even remember who that was. I should do my looking before I come on here. Said, you wonder how it would work with purple with the Mediterranean. I'm like, you know what? It would actually work very well, because with the 0 point whole grains and the potatoes, it's very conducive to a Mediterranean diet because they push those whole grains. So guess what? I'm switching to purple because I did not want all those grains, if I've got to eat a lot, counting against me in the points. Now I'm going to tell you this, and you can agree with it or not agree with it. I'm not counting my olive oil. I already didn't count it when I just drizzle in the pan, if I saute, something or whatever. I just don't count that. Even David says, why would you count it when it's so heart healthy? He don't even understand it. That and avocados, those are 2 things he just does not agree with Weight Watchers. He just doesn't. I'm like, yeah, it's like I sit down with a straw and suck olive oil. No, but the Mediterranean diet pushes olive oil. It's like top of the list of healthy things to eat. They want you to saute your food in it, drizzle it on your food, the whole 9 yards. So I am not going to count any olive oil, because if I start counting points for that, I'm not going to be able to eat. I'm not going to be able to have my whole grains, because those points are going to add up. And if it is like a medicine, to me, that's kind of how it seems. I'm not going to count it. And you can take that or leave it and do with it whatever you want. But that's what I'm doing on my journey. Olive oil is not on the map. It's just not. So, that being said, I'm doing purple. I did 28 of my 25 points, and that's because at the end here, I had a little snack last night. I'll tell you what it was. So, for breakfast, I had my chocolate coconut almond oatmeal. Now, if you like it sweeter, you're going to have to add more sweetener to it. Mine's not sweet with the 2 teaspoons of monk fruit. You'll have to adjust that if you like yours sweet. And then I had 3 boiled eggs left, and I ate every one of them. I ate every one of them because I wanted to get that dish out of my refrigerator. I could have put it in a little baggie, but I'm like, I'll just eat it. Lunch, I had my quinoa chili, my tablespoon of peanut butter, and some watermelon. Now, I didn't have enough Greek yogurt on there to even worry about. It's the 5%. listen, if you don't like non-fat plain Greek yogurt, that 5% Fage is delicious. It is it is so creamy, and it does not have that. It's delicious. Then a snack, I had half of a whole wheat pita that I got at Aldi's. I just ripped it in half. And some dip that I made with some olive oil and balsamic vinegar. And I have this little shaker. There's four different kinds in it. I got it at Aldi's. I guess it's still potent. I don't know. The last time I went, how many ever months ago that was, that you do for bread dips. So 4 different herb flavors. So I mix that in there, and that's just what I dipped that half of that pita in. The supper last night was our hobo supper, pintos and greens and squash. And then I found a Martha Stewart whole wheat cornbread, which wasn't my favorite because it didn't taste like mine with the bacon grease in it and all that, but it got the job done up under my pintos because I love cornbread with my pintos and my pinto juice. So it got the job done, and it got some whole grains in me. It had whole wheat flour and cornmeal. And now that I know cornmeal is considered part of the whole grains, I feel good about that. So I got my whole grain in there. Trying to find a way to fit all these whole grains in is proven tough. It seems like the servings of fruit and vegetables and whole grains in what you eat is just too much to eat in a day. I mean, I could do some eating, but trying to eat as many servings, I read somewhere they wanted you to have between 7 and 9 servings of fruits and vegetables. And David looked at me, he's like, I can't eat that much. I can't eat that much. I'm like, me either. Okay, a serving would be like, let's say, a medium apple. Could you eat 7 apples in a day? No. 4 apples and 3 bananas? No. A bowl of lettuce? I can't do it. We're just going to do the best we can. And then what took me over my points was, I was under my points. And what took me over was a dark chocolate little bar I picked it up at Aldi's. It's the 70%, the Moser brand. It comes in the little, like, I think 4 or 5 little bars individually wrapped in the box, because I read that dark chocolate, which we already know dark chocolate is very, very heart healthy. Very heart healthy. And it is okay in moderation doing the Mediterranean style of eating. So, kind of like wine. You could have wine. They say moderation, and their moderation says women glass a day and men 2 glasses a day, which I don't know what the difference in men and women for that is, but dark chocolate in moderation. So it's not like I'm going to eat one every day, but I did want something last night, and so I had one of those, and that's what put me over. So that brings us to today. Now, what I wanted to read you just a little bit more information that I had pulled up about this. It is very doable on Weight Watchers. And like I said, the purple plan I think is going to be the best. But I wanted to read, I got this little book here. I got it paperclip. The Mediterranean Diet Pyramid. Actually, the first thing, and I watched a video on it, and then I looked up the pyramid too. They changed the pyramid. So, the bottom, the way it goes up, the bottom is the most thing they want you to do, and then as it goes up, the least. The bottom, believe this or not, is activity and having meals with other people. They want you to have meals, which is kind of pre-COVID, obviously, but they say that is an important part of it. Who knew? So that's the bottom. The that's the bottom, so I guess I'll start down here and go up. So daily, this is what they want you to have daily: olive oil, fruits and vegetables, grains, beans, legumes, nuts, and seeds. Daily, every single day. A few times a week, fish and seafood. Daily to weekly. So where it says moderation, their moderation obviously means daily to weekly. Dairy, eggs, and poultry. So I feel better reading that because eggs hold me. So like when I go in here and have my oatmeal, I'm going to have to like scramble me an egg or two to go with it, or I will be famished and looking for something to eat, which may not be a bad thing since I got to shove in so many whole grains. We'll see about that. We will see about that. And fruits and vegetables. I'm trying to eat more fruits. Then monthly or small amounts, sweets and red meats. The girl called it sweets and meats. That's what they call the top rung. Sweets and meats. Rarely or monthly. Red meat once a month is going to be hard. I'm going to have to pick a new number for what means rarely. Because monthly, I know. That ain't going to happen. Maybe once a week. That would be 4 times a month. I don't think that's bad. I cannot, this is still, even though she puts me on this diet, this plan, this way of eating, I've still got to make it work for me. And working for me is not giving up red meat. Not at this point in my life. It is not. Who knows? Maybe it would work around to it one day. But at this point, no. Then, in moderation is the red wine. And then, like I told you, I looked up also the dark chocolate. Now, I found a list of what they consider Mediterranean pantry staples. These are not, excuse me. I'm talking too much and getting all froggy. These are not fresh foods. These are pantry foods that you should always have on hands that you can, like, pull from to make a meal or a snack. Number 1, what'd I tell you? EVOO, extra virgin olive oil. That's number 1. That is like number 1 on every list I have read of things they want you to eat. And that is the olive oil. 2, canned fish. 3, dried fruit. That's what I was telling you about, those bejeweled dates. Now, don't go whole hog on them because they're still going to have calories, but there's fiber and nutrients in those dried fruits that they say you should have on hand. Nuts and seeds, number 4. Number 5, whole grains. 6, tomatoes. Any kind. Fresh, canned, tomato paste. All that. All the tomatoes. 7, olives. Olive oil was first. Number 7 down here is olives. I'm going to try, I've read several recipes that use Kalamata olives. I'm going to find some of those and try those. I've done made a list in here of new things I want to try. Things that we've not eaten before that I just want to like pick a few out a week and give them a shot. Maybe we'll read that too. Whole grain crackers. I found 2 of those at Aldi's. So I haven't eaten them yet, but I got them. Maybe I'll eat some today with my chili. That's what I'll do. Canned beans, herbs and spices, 11, onions and garlic. Those 2 foods are super healthy for you. 12, plain Greek yogurt. It does not specify fat-free or full-fatted. The list did not specify whichever one. So I know they say go low-fat on the dairy, but then I read somewhere else, don't eat, which probably is for processed foods, don't eat things that are considered low this or diet this or reduce that. And I think that's maybe if you eat processed food, which is kind of funny because you're not supposed to eat processed foods, which crackers are processed. So you just have to figure it out as you go, I guess. And then artisanal cheeses, which are like your fancy cheeses. I guess they mean like different Parmesans and maybe feta, stuff like that. Stuff that's not like Kraft cheddar cheese in a block. They mean like real good cheeses. Then these are the benefits of a Mediterranean diet. So you don't have to go on a Mediterranean diet, but to eat more fruits and vegetables and whole grains and limit your meat consumption. These are all the health benefits. And so I know that's why she put me on this. I know it is. So number 1 was increases weight loss, and it better. This week, not so sure. Friday was a wash. Saturday, even though I was in my points, I'm not sure about how Sunday affected the points, and then yesterday was fine. So I'm not sure if there'll be a loss this week or not, if that Friday and Saturday is going to, work against me. But I'm making a change. My body's making a change from low carb to pretty much no carbs. There was no even complex carbs. So all of a sudden, here's your fiber. Here's your fiber. There are other benefits to a lot of fiber too. Woo. So increases weight loss. 2, improves your heart health, which is improved cholesterol and improved blood pressure. I have both of those. Protects against type 2 diabetes. It helps you from getting the type 2 diabetes. And if you have it, which I do, it lowers your blood sugar and your A1C. So while the low carb did that, I'm hoping this also does that, so the endocrinologist will be happy when I go back to see him. Because if I hadn't lost more weight and my sugars are high, I'm going to get fussed at. Oh, he's going to get me. And reduced inflammation. Somebody else told me about that it reduced inflammation. And boy, oh boy, I'm inflamed from head to toe. Even my eyeballs are probably inflamed. And that was all the information I think I wanted to share that I had looked up. But these are some of the... let me find it. These are some of the foods. If some of y'all have had these, maybe you could give me a tip how you eat it or prepare it, because some of these I don't have a clue. Somebody mentioned they like roasted parsnips. I'm like, oh, I didn't think about parsnips, so I want to try parsnips. Kalamata olives, bok choy, which I know we've probably had strips of in our Chinese food, but I want to figure out a way to make that. Belgian endive, broccoli rabe, daikon radish, fennel, which I don't think I'll like because they say it tastes like licorice, but I'm not going to turn my nose on it until I actually buy one and fix it. Then I will. Kohlrabi and rutabaga. Now, if my store has some of these or if they don't, I've seen these on TV. I looked up a list of like different kind of vegetables. I'm like, oh, well, we'll give them a try. And then pretty much all the fruits, we've not tried all the fruits, but some of them I know I'm not going to try, like a jackfruit or different things like that. Excuse me. Okay, I'm sorry. Unless maybe I go to the international market over there and I pick out some cool stuff they got over there, because they got all kind of stuff over there. Maybe I need to make me a trip over there. I think I do. What is today? Tuesday? I might do that today. We will see. Passion fruit. I've drunk that passion fruit drink, but I've never eat a passion fruit. Papaya. I've eaten little dried bits of it in trail mix, and it's delicious. So I just wonder how good the fruit is. And dragon fruit. They're so pretty. So those are some things I want to try. If you've ever eaten any of those and you have like a certain way that you know is the way to fix it, let me know. I'd appreciate that. So I think that's all I'm going to say today. Probably plenty enough. I'm not going to look at the time. I'll look at the time when I go in there and edit. And then I'll just sit there and roll my eyes. So thanks for watching. Thanks for going along with me on my journey on all these ups and downs. And do this, do that. Let's do this, let's do that. It makes my head spin, but you know what? It's like life. It's just an evolving journey. That's all I know to say. It just evolves and morphs into just whatever. I did want to say one more thing. Okay, you see that little blue frame right there? That's where the little thing I made to put from an anonymous subscriber sent me a little box of motivational cards. And so every time I come in here and sit down at my desk, not during the day, like day to day, I blindly pull one out and replace it on that little frame. So today's is something about nothing is impossible, because the word itself says I'm possible. So I'm going to leave you with that. Nothing is impossible because I'm possible. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you next time for who knows what. Bye.